hello, and welcome. I'm your show host, Maxine Pearl Phillips. You are here, and we're going to be talking about life strategies. But before we get started, first of all, let me thank you for being here. And secondly, let's not forget that it's, Breast Cancer Month, and we want to make sure that women, come on, let's get them checked. Make sure that you're having your mammogram, talking to your doctor, doing your monthly checkups. Other thing I want to mention is the fact that the company's name is Leveless, but it's about people succeeding. And one thing about people succeeding is the fact that you have your career and then you have your profession. So here at Leveless, we do career development where we help you to hone in on or identify exactly what career path is going to be match your skill set, your strengths. And then we do professional development, and that professional development is where you continue to enhance your skills. So we work with individuals like professionals who are looking to move into a new position, a new career. If you're underemployed and you feel like you've been overlooked for a promotion, hey, we're the company for you to contact. We also work with those who are going back to college or who are coming out of college and you're unsure what direction to take or what college degree to actually uh, major in. And so we help you to understand that. The other thing is, I have a quote that says, the sky is not the limit. So don't limit yourself. I know we always hear the cliche that the sky is the limit, but here at Levelist, we do not believe that the sky is the limit because we know that you were born with abilities and strengths that you may have not even discovered yet. And if you have discovered them, then we want to continue to help you enhance them so that you can live the lifestyle that you deserve and be paid the salary that you desire and be working in the field or in the career that you find fulfilled and just happen to love and be paid for it. So, as we move forward this evening, oh, do I have a show for you? My guest this evening is Sharon Campbell. Sharon is the principal of the Sharon Campbell Solution Group. This lady here is phenomenal. I know when I put out there on Facebook, it said powerhouse, and that's exactly what she is. She's a powerhouse. She is a wealth of knowledge, and she does not mind sharing it. She even has a mastermind group that I participate in, and we'll have an opportunity to speak about that as we progress in the conversation. But I want to give you a little bit of background about Sharon. Not only does she serve over 850 clients, but she works in an area such as higher education. She does with small businesses, entrepreneurs, startup, 9 to 5, dreamer, hobbyists. I mean, city from nonprofits to faith-based churches. She's all in the community. She's serving strategic solutions and tools that helps expand the client's base. And not only is she a resource, but she has partnerships that she's welcome to be able to bring you in and you bring her in and you all become partners. Tonight, we're going to be talking about her show is called Plan to Prosper, but we're going to be talking about prosperous living. And so I want to bring up the phenomenal Sharon Campbell. Come on in.
Thank you, Maxine. I am so honored to be here on Monday with you.
Oh,
And the
thank
reason
you.
why it is so true to kick off your week on Monday, talking about strategies and things you need to do to get through the week and the weekend and start back over. So your show on Monday is like a kickoff for me. Like, okay, we are here. All the bumps in the road and stuff, you're going to give it to us tonight. So it'll be like little pebbles. So
There
thank
you
you
go.
for inviting me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I love you talk about the little pebbles, and those pebbles turn into platinum nuggets. So
That's
you're gonna be dropping a lot of platinum nuggets this evening. So my
correct.
viewing audience, what I want you to do is I want you to get some paper and pencil ready so you can take these platinum nuggets, write them down, and put actions to them. And not only that, don't keep it to yourself, share it with other people. Sharon is a giver. She's a share. She believes in sharing and she believes in helping you moving forward in your career so you can be prosperous. So
Mhm.
let's talk about this prosperous living. So tell me, Miss Sharon, how did you start even your strategies that you've used to get you to the point that you are right now? Give us a high level overview of that.
Well, it all started when I saw a Facebook post on Facebook, and it said life death experience.
Okay, okay.
And it was someone that had went through something, and then I'm looking at them and I'm like, a life death experience? Well, what in the world? Let me learn more about what this person know, because they laying in the bed over there, and I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at this post, and it's not the same two people at all. And I'm saying, wow, what was this person thinking during that time? So I had to stay tuned so I can continuously follow that near death experience person as they told their story and all the strategies that they use to overcome that for prosperity living. And too often people think it's money, 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 money.
Come on.
Money is just part of it.
Right.
It's part of the reward, but it's not prosper living. See, prosper living is overcoming something that you could actually talk about it, give people strategies, and share so others can overcome with self discipline, commitment, and dedication. So when I saw this post, I said, wait a minute, if this person had this experience and now they back on their podcast, then guess what? They have prosperous living. They're in the business owner, personal or professional person can actually grow from and use their service. Now, I'm going to tell you who I'm talking about. And I want y'all to go back to Facebook, go back to YouTube. You need to go back, because when you go back and reflect, your life is going to change, because you're going to start viewing life different. That is Maxine Phillips McCoy. And I wish we had that post right now that I could see, because I was like, there's no way. But that shows people that is following you, how you overcome and all the strategies that you use to overcome that. But then you got strategies to help people overcome what? Their career. You got strategies to help people overcome what? Their professional development, going back to school, going off to colleges. And so I grow from learning from other people and what they are doing. And then I take that and I continuously repeat it over and over again, because somebody out there needs to hear it, and they sometimes need to hear it more than once.
Right.
What I came across is you have to say it more than one time for people to get it, or you have to have some type of marketing tool like you did that capture it in such of a way people lean in and say, I need to show up every Monday at 7, because I have had something happen in my life, and I want to know what's the tools and the strategies that she is using, because they can be implemented in any part of their life. So that's what I would say is learning from others, and then be able to share it in a way that others be able to catch it, use it, and then seek out the person that started, which is you. And I'm not trying to take your work. I'm trying to uplift it, because somewhere down the line, somebody need to hear this, and they need to hear it more than one time. Just like you being on TED Talk. How does this near-death experience happen to a TED Talk person? I'm like, whoa, the TED Talk is big. You see what I'm saying? That ain't no little. And you overcome all of that. And she doing TED Talk. She did TED Talk. It's following people. It's listen, being a student of thinkers or doers. And there's enough information and clients out there that we can share one another, that we don't have to compete. And strategies is about, who can I align myself with that we can both help one another so we can both grow. That's some of the best strategies I could tell people. Is that if you learn that, and how do we help one another? That's the key. It's not how do I help me? The key is how do we help one another?
And Miss Sharon, I can say that you are a doer. You practice what you teach. You know, we always hear about people say practice what you preach, right? But you
Mhm.
practice what you teach. You know, and that is because you can easily preach something, but teaching it and actually doing it and putting it into action yourself and others being able to see it is
Mhm.
a totally different ball game. And you have done that, and I've seen that done over and over and over. But I also want to bring up something that you just said about the number of people in the world, because on your website you have some statistical information out there. I've done a little homework, and I love the fact that you said that there are 7.9 billion people in the world with opportunities to grow your business. So there's enough people out here for everyone, and we don't have to worry about, not sharing and not partnering, not collaborating, but it just the opposite. We need to partner, we need to collaborate. And then you go on to say that there is 6.6 billion people that have smartphones. So position yourself locally to be found globally.
That's right.
Come on now.
That's
I
right.
know
Because you think we get so boxed into, well, it's just right here in this area.
right.
You guess how many other people doing what you're doing. So you limit yourself. So now you, besides having a billion or a million, now you just only have 50,000 because you don't want to step out your comfort zone.
Right.
And, and so I look at it like this: the difference between small businesses and medium-sized business and large businesses is one simple thing: they collaborate in partnership. Ford cannot make a car unless they have all these other partners to send them the parts to put it together. All they do is put it together. They ain't making no screws, no bolts, no engines, no batteries. Ford don't do that. But guess how many partners they have?
Right.
And the end product that rolls off is a Ford product. But look how many other things that's inside that's not Ford made.
That is so true.
And so we'll learn that we can grow like Ford.
Yes, like forward.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about partnership and you talked about collaboration, and you've also dropped some nuggets about it helps us to grow. Is not going to keep us from not growing if just by coming into a partnership. Now there are some legal things that you need to do when you become going into partnership. Let's not overlook that. We do understand that, but the mindset is to start looking at it from a partnership perspective. We're talking about prosperous living. We're
That's
not
right.
just talking about living right now. We're not
Uh-huh.
just talking about global, I mean local. We're talking about global. So we have to have the mindset of a global mindset. When you start talking about the people and the amount of money and how much can you have, the whole thing of it is, I kept coming to my mind was that quote I always say: the sky is not the limit. So don't limit yourself. Ford has not limited themselves to one particular vendor. I guarantee you they have a partnership with vendor after vendor after vendor. That's a backup plan.
To the backup, because that car got to come off. That car got to get down to the road.
That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the fact that you're breaking it down like that, because when you break it down into small bite pieces that people can easily digest it and they can internalize it and understand, how can I use these nuggets that's being dropped tonight? So
Mm-hmm.
I trust me and listen. I want y'all to write in the comment one or two of these nuggets that you've already heard, because Sharon has already given us about 10. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote 10 of them down just when she started talking.
But you think about it, Maxine. I only got 5 boats left. Wait a minute, these cars coming. Hold the line. I don't use the last one.
That's right. No.
they're going to be like, whoa, what do you mean? Oh, the shipment didn't come in today. What? Somebody got to explain why you don't have a backup to a backup.
That's right.
And why is it that you didn't know when you got on the line, your little boat thing wasn't full?
That's right.
Look how much money has been lost because you failed to do what? Partner with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no limit of money in the world. So when people are like, that money is plentiful, it's how you get there. There ain't no one hiding the money. It's how you get there.
It's how you get there.
How you get there.
You said back up to the backup. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because what came to my mind right then is that you talked about career development, you mentioned professional development, and that's a backup to the backup. Because once you understand that career development path that you're going to take, well, the backup plan is to make sure that you constantly are updating your skills so that when the opportunity presents itself, you are there. And so, Sharon, it sounds like to me that you've been doing that your entire life as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I tell you have to love entrepreneurship and business development because I look at it like this. I look at your skill set. So if that's your gift and I have a client and I know they need that, why am I trying to Google a test to give them and I am clueless how to do it? Because I want to keep this client to me and charge them for something. Well, that's not my skill set. So I need to find somebody else with that skill set to give them that client because you want your client to get the very best.
That's right.
It's just like goal setting. Okay. If that's not part of your packet, don't just go online and say, oh, let me pick this and pick this. I need to take goal setting through my client. Well, one, the client gonna know you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And they probably done went online and got that same test. Okay. Second, you're not bringing anything to advance them because that's not your area. So if your client need goal setting, hire somebody to do that, get that data, and then move next to the next step, the next step.
And and Sharon, what I just heard you say was a process, almost a system in a sense. Is a different mindset. It's a growth mindset thinking. Is that you're right? If that's not your skill set, then you hand it off to someone that you can trust. And you believe, and that client is going to receive that type of service that you would have serviced that person with, right? And then it never fails because it could be something else that client is going to need that's not an expert, that I would not be an expert at, that I would have to send them back to you and say, okay, we've done what I'm supposed to do with them. Now they need the rest of you to help, the rest of your services to help them. And so we have to understand that sometimes it's not a ping pong type thing. It's the fact that who's best to service that customer at that given time.
Yeah. It's like if say business, helping someone write their business plan. Well, guess what? I do that, but I'm not a financial person. So when I do my contract, I have my accountant that does that, but that's his specialty. So I go ahead and build his fee into that as part of my team. Okay. Because I don't do that. You don't want me to mess your numbers because you'll be out there. You'll be like, I don't know this right now. I don't think you're going to get this loan, but right. But that's it. So you go ahead on and look at your all the different components, and then you find people in that area and you bring your team together. You lead. You are paying them to provide you a service for your client.
Right.
And then I'm not going to be worried about one, you stealing my client, because your client going to tell you anyway.
That's right.
And I'm not going to be sitting there attending a financial accounting meeting because I'm not interested in your books. So there ain't no need for me to be sitting there listening. My time is best doing what I can do and what I know is going to be a good product, which may be just laying it out, writing it. Then I may have to go in and say, hey, look, I like Canva. I love Wix, but I know someone else, I'm saying, that can do that and free me up to continue writing.
That's right.
So I'm going to them to do that for my client. I don't need to be on Canva while they doing that. I don't need to be on Wix while they building that website. But guess what? The client have the contract with you. So who my team is, they don't care. They're looking for what?
That's
Their
right.
business plan.
That's right. At the end
Okay.
of the day, they want that business plan.
And then the other part is, if I'm doing that for you, why haven't you incorporated me into your clients? Again, it go back to forward.
Yep.
You got to incorporate each other. So what? The money continues circulating.
Yep. They always talk about circulating that dollar.
That's right.
That's the way of circulate the dollar.
And that's where prosperity living coming in. You're not stressed. You're not chasing that dollar. You're not worried about where my next client come from. You're not saying, well, I got to get these posts out because so now you can stop doing all of that and spend more time building your brand.
I love it. I love it, because one of the questions that I had written down was defining prosperity. And I think you just defined it. You know,
including as many people as you possibly can.
Right.
So you can serve as many people if you possibly can.
Yes.
Okay. With the least amount of effort. Yeah. There's a lot of effort to go after one client, and you got the market, you got the fact. That's too much effort.
Too much work. When you can collaborate, and partner with others who have the skill set that you don't, the expertise that you don't, but yet and still you are working it together so that the client can be serviced and they can be successful, because that's what we want them to have, is prosperity living. Love it.
And then, Maxine, you have to think about, this is 2024 and we're going in 2025. This is the time that you really need. This is Q4. I tell people you need to really analyze and be honest with yourself about, did I do all that I said I was going to do? And if not, why not? And the why could simply be because I did not fully write it down in order to execute it. And you can have all the excuses in the world. Well, time ran up, family, Christmas. Whenever you don't take time out to do that, you've already set yourself up to failure. And then it's hard to bring other people on when you have not done what you need to do. And they looking at you like, wait a minute now, you're not ready.
Right.
You're not ready. So I just encourage people that's listening. How many countries you in tonight?
Over 200. We stream to over 200 countries.
Okay. Now, what's some of the platforms that you're on tonight?
We do Pod TV. We're on Roku. We're on Amazon Live. So we're on all these different platforms. So there's no limit to how many people are going to actually be watching. That's hard to gauge how many people watching at any given time, and even how many people are going to go back and watch.
Yeah, because this is what people are looking for. And I say this, okay, your show is about strategies.
Correct.
This is Q4. Guess what? I need to be trying to figure out. I need to set aside some time. Because when I start reflecting and I didn't do what I need to do, and I said I wanted to make $100,000 the first of the year, well, what happened? Did you evaluate Q1? How about Q2? How about Q3?
Right.
So what are you going to do in Q4 that's going to change 2025? Because if you don't take ownership of that, you're going to be back in January repeating the same cycle over again. And this New Year resolution. No, honey, I ain't resolute nothing. This is a strategy and some goals, and I need to make sure whatever I didn't do back then or whatever came up, I need to be talking about making sure I put some safeguards in that, because everybody can't come with you in 2025. So some people are going to have to stay back, and if you can't take them. And we try to take people hoping that they'll get it, they'll change, and that I'm going to give them another chance. You have to leave them back there. They're not ready.
And given all these strategies as you just shared, it brings me to that's the reason why you do the show, plan to prosper.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't plan, then we plan to fail. Basically, is what we're
A lot of
planning.
people do that very well.
Yes, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else, please, 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 please write down these platinum nuggets so that you can go back and number one, I heard analyze,
Mm-hmm.
I heard reevaluate, I heard why not? Why did it not work? So look at
Mm-hmm.
what worked, what didn't work, and what can you do differently. And then, you said resolutions. I'm so in agreement with you on that. I do not talk about New Year's resolutions. I talk about what is your context? What is the content that you're creating for your goals, for this given time? And it might not be for the entire year. You might need to do quarter by quarter by quarter. But at the end, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? So I love the fact that, yeah, planning is so essential because if you don't plan, then you do plan to fail.
And that's why you can't prosper. That's why when you talk about prosperity living, if part of earning money is being healthy. If you're doing all of that and you stress because you didn't plan.
Correct.
You chasing the dollar because you didn't put down where the dollar was or where you was going.
Did you give an account for it? Are you being a good steward over the money that you are receiving?
Thank you. You're sitting thinking someone's gonna knock on your door, answer your email or your text, and you're not showing up. And not even on Zoom and other people um podcasts. You're not interacting, but you want
Right,
someone to show up with your stuff. See, if
right,
you don't show up for other people, how you expect they're gonna show up for you?
right.
You know, we have opened up the world. We still use this, yes. But guess what? But if you're not showing up to other people that's doing that, who's gonna show up for you?
That's correct. And let's face it, when you plan to prosper and prosperity, prosperous living, you can show up, but you need to be intentional as to why you're showing up. What is it, your purpose for being there? Who is it that you intend to see? How are you going to use this time wisely? So, just showing up does not mean that you need to show up to everything and for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Time is money, honey. Don't be just showing up on a platform. Just to say you was on the platform. I'll be like, I ain't got that type of time.
Right.
I
And
love that being intentional. You're right. Why
yes,
am I there? Why am I coming? You should ask yourself that. Why am I
every
coming?
time, every time. Why
Mhm.
am I going? Why am I going to this? How is this going to not only help them, but how is it going to help me? Because it should be a win-win situation when you are engaged, when you are partnering, when you're collaborating. One of the things that I had to learn early in the business was the fact that I would show up for people, but I wouldn't necessarily, when they say, how can I help you? I did not have an answer.
Mhm.
You should always have an answer
I always
on
have
how
an answer.
individuals can help you because that planning is what you know that you need help with.
And the other thing is we must read. We must read different things. We when you fail to educate yourself, plan to prosper is going to be hard for you.
Yes.
Now, this morning when I was studying, because I get up at 4 o'clock, and I was studying, and I didn't realize I added usually 5 books. I count my books. I was up to 9. I said, "How many books get in here?" I got been doing all this reading, and I did not realize I started incorporating other books because seeing like I'm like, oh, and I picked this one up, and I said, okay. So let me share people how I read. You know, how you read 9 books? I only read so many pages of each one. So I have my spiritual books. Got to start off with God first. I need for Him to get in this chair to help me. That's so very important.
Mm-hmm.
Then I may have 3 different versions. I may have like one that you just read one chapter because of that day. I'm reading there are 7 different types of fasts, and I'm interested in all 7 of them. So I'm studying fasting. So I said, okay, I got some books on that. And then I have one that's let's see, I did a fast. Oh, and then just daily reading. So that's 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got my self-development book. How I develop myself. See, a lot of people don't understand. You got to work on you. If you want to be successful, you got to spend some time in self-development and be honest with what's going on with you and in that. So I have a series of those that I work on. And then I have my business books, which is strategies, techniques, and stuff I need to work on my company. If you sit there and do that, 2 hours is gone by. But when you get up, look how much is poured inside of you. So by the time for you to actually start work, your brain is great. Am I watching TV? Am I on the social media? Those things are tools that you don't need every day.
Right.
Social media is just a tool. It is not required for you to be on there. I get it. You want to be a movie star. So you're making these little clips and these little movies and stuff. Okay. But I don't need to let you take up my time, my money, watch you make your little money, your little
movies.
What you making this little movie and is that gonna pay me anything?
No, how is it going
Hollywood?
But not only that, how is it going to advance you in your movement, in your, your plan that you put in place? How is it going to advance you? If it's a movie that you need to look at in order for it to advance you and move you forward, that's one thing. But constantly looking at them every day, all day long, that's something totally different.
Look, you done spent a whole hour strolling, and now you late for work.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're not ready for your client.
That's right. You're missing an opportunity.
You prepared yourself, and now you running in there. So let me get on Zoom. I got to talk to this person. And guess where your mind at? All that stuff you saw on social media.
Right. You said something about you're reading the various books, which I love, and you broke down the type of different books that you're reading. But one of the books, of course, that stuck with me is I'm in agreement with you 100%. Put that spiritual piece there first. That's first and foremost. I know that I believe in a higher power other than myself. So I always go, just let that be known. But you also talked about the self-development piece. And so many times you're right. I'm using the word self-development because there are books that you can read that can help you. And then there are conferences that you can go to that can help you. But then there's professional development where you must attend a workshop. You must attend some type of environment where it's going to be action planning, where you're going to have to put a strategy in place, time actions in place, and then a time bound or a timeline against it, so we know about when you're going to complete them. So that's holding yourself accountable as you can. And I always feel, a continuous learner, a lifelong learner, and that's where self-development and professional development comes in. I mean, wholeheartedly. So give me your thoughts on that.
I think that's 100%. I agree with you. When you plan out your year and you break it down in quarters, because that's manageable, it should have personal and professional development every quarter in there. How do you grow if you're not being part of that learning environment?
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, our former president Obama, Michelle Obama, when you listen to Kamala Harris, when you listen to Bill Clinton, Oprah, they are readers. They read and study before they move out into the world. They give themselves that 2 hours of time because you want to fresh the mind with the best stuff in there every morning before you go outside in the world.
Stop the press. That platinum nugget. Did you write that down? Refresh the mind every morning. You know, you gave us all these wonderful people, but that, I mean, and they help you to hone in on to understand why it's so important that you do that self development, that you take the
In
time
the morning.
in the morning and you refresh the mind. We need to put that on the shirt. Refresh
Let's
the
refresh the mind.
mind.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, you know, because you think about it. If you're going to turn the TV on, your subconscious got all that noise, and it's going to remember all the bad news.
Right.
But if you walk out of there and you spiritual and poured inside you, and you got some professional and personal development, you're feeling pretty good, girl. And
Yeah.
then and then on top of that, you talk about some business stuff you need to do. When you get to your laptop, you're so creative. You are so hype. You were like, yeah, this day is my day.
I'm ready to
And
roll, rock and roll.
if you got that TV on and you listen to all that, what's coming to your when you sit down?
All that stuff, all that negative stuff, because a lot of times if you listen to the news, there's a lot of negativity in the news. But I love the fact that when you say refresh the mind, which means you're putting positive thoughts. You're putting positive thoughts into your spirit. So I love the fact when you sit down, yes, you can be creative because you release some of that, all that fog in your brain to white space. And therefore you got that creativity that's going on. I'm loving it. Loving it.
And I'm going to take you one step farther. Before you wind down that night and lay down, get you some upbeat stuff, something to read that's positive. Wait, I fell asleep with the TV on. I'm like, all that noise, that's why you fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get up, guess what? You are exhausted. But if you take some time to read something positive, then you're going to sleep better.
And not only that, when you read, it relaxes the body. And if you have just your overhead light or a lamp light on and not the TV light, which they call the blue light, then it takes the body longer for that serotonin to come down in order for you to get into that sleep mode. So I love the fact that, yeah, read something upbeat, but then you're going to sleep on a positive note opposed to something negative.
And another one, think about what we spend our money on. We'll go out and buy a lot of materialistic stuff and not invest in a book.
Come on. Say that again. Not only is this a platinum note, this is
Amazon to the door, but very little is books dropped at your front door.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, well, I don't understand why my company goes. Well, what business book are you reading in order to grow your company? So you don't know everything. And it's in the book. I buried it because the book of Ecclesiastes say there's nothing new under the sun. Okay. No. So whenever they drop these books off at your front door, if you order them, it's going to tell you. See, you got to stop relying on Googlemania.
Come on.
Shortcuts get you short money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, instant gratification say there's no intention. You're not intentionally thinking about how to grow. You just want a quick dollar to pay your light bill. And that's why you're always on that wheel.
Yeah.
And then guess what? The weekend to come, and guess what? You're still on that wheel thinking, I got to figure out how I got to get some money I got to get another client. But guess what? If you spend your time saying, oh, I can grow this, and these are the things I need to do. Let me go on Eventbrite. Let me see a good thing. You have this resume writing that's going to be kicking off next year.
Right.
People should be thinking about, is that January? Or is that February? I need to keep following her so when she put it out there, I can buy my Christmas present, which is a gift for education to me. Then I ain't say materialistic stuff. You don't need nothing else.
Exactly.
House.
Probably no more
clothes, another TV.
Purses. Yeah.
another pocketbook,
Right.
another pair of shoes, another set of glasses. You got one coffee maker. Okay, it's okay to say no to that and yes. So we have to. We always talk about we want to be successful. Then you need to be studying successful people because they're going to tell you what they have done. The problem is we don't want to do the sacrifice to get there. We see them, but we're like, well, can't we jump on all of that and get straight there? Oprah said, you ain't getting no contract. You ain't, hey, you didn't wade these waters like I did. You got to do a little bit to get over here.
And for some reason, people think that that's okay, because when you do all the study, you do put in all the work, you do, sacrifice, and you do make sure that you're learning and you're continuously learning. And then when come time for you to put your fee in place, then they look at you like that's entirely too expensive. But they've never taken into consideration that you're not paying an hourly rate. You're paying the expertise that it has taken for that person to get to that level so that you can learn it faster,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can help you move forward a little bit more smoother. Faster is not always the best thing. Sometimes you have to just take a step back. I have this, my website person, she say, I measured twice and I cut once. So, you take a step back and you look at it to find out exactly how do you move forward. So when you're moving forward in the right direction. You're using the right tools. You're talking to the right people. You're reading the right books. But if you don't ever take that time
To plan.
then you're just haphazardly doing it.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be honest with yourself about why is it my company really not growing? Is it because I'm really am not posting like I should, uh, or is the content of what I'm posting is not great? And then you got to start getting drawing in people to ask those questions. And so
Right.
you may be thinking, and this is what we're doing for my company. I told my audience that I like to share what I do. So we're
Mhm.
looking at one updating our website with some different words and stuff. I think that's still very important. We're going to also look at being more intentionally about posting and
Mhm.
and create us a community where we are lifting up more of us. Now I'm part of a lot of groups, but guess what? I don't go participate in them. So why is that? Now what triggered me to even join?
Mhm.
So I have to so I'm doing a self analysis in there. Does this group represent me?
Right.
I pay membership for this group. I only went to one year. So membership is due. Do I really have time to be engaged with
Yep.
them? What why? And if I'm not going to do the work with them, then I cannot expect to get any clients from them. Whoa, girl, shut up.
Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Not only that,
Okay.
tell it like it is. That's
Because
so
if
true.
you in that group, you should be getting some clients. But if you don't show up, participate, let them get to know you, then why are you paying your membership?
And it's hard for them to refer anyone to you because of what you just stated. They have to know, like, and trust. And if you're not participating, how are they going to get to know you so they like what it is that you do and you can do what you say you can do? And that's where the trust comes in at. But you're so right about evaluating the groups that you're in. Just because you pay membership, I'm not the kind of person who want to say I'm a member
Me
of a
neither.
group. I need to be actively involved in that group,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to be involved, then it's time for me to step away from that group because those marketing dollars can be spent somewhere else.
Thank you. Because I had to say, okay, now I'm starting all over. I done paid for 2 years, and I'm like, you know what? I showed up one time. I think I paid for 2 years for, but whatever it was, I'm like, this don't make any sense. I'm not being a good steward of the money that was given to me.
That's right.
Okay. And that could have been somewhere else. So how about if I had been good steward? I could have got 5 clients.
Hmm.
For the amount I paid, look what I could have got. And so I
Hmm.
think those are the things we need to be evaluating this last quarter is where do I, like you said, being attention, where do I need to show up? Or where have I showed up at? And I have not followed up in such of a way to build those relationships for I can continuously grow my company. Sometimes we show up, but we don't build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you go to these certifications, you got all these people in the group, they're seeing you, and then you get, and then y'all separate ways.
Yep.
No, it not supposed to work that way at all.
You know, you brought up the word certification, so that made me think about it because I know we're getting closer to the end of the show, but I don't want to leave without you talking a little bit about some of the things that you do, because one of the things you do is you offer 5 certifications.
Mm-hmm.
So talk us a little bit about these certifications, not how you got them, how you go about them and all that, but help the people to understand how not only they can take the certification, but what are the outcomes can they expect by taking these certifications. I've gone through the diversity certification, which was phenomenal.
Well, for 5 global certification, we have the Plan to Prosper Institute. You receive your certification, you get your little and everything. So one is, we call it ideal, which is make sure you, and inclusion is so very important. Diversity, equality, and equity. You can't have one without the other. And advocacy. You must have all 3 in order to grow and develop in business and in nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
We have business development and entrepreneurship, because of business and entrepreneurship, some they're the same, but they're different roles for each one of them. So we help you look at your company in such of a way, or help you decide, is the entrepreneurship the right path for you right now, especially for people that's a 9 to 5 and not so ready to give up that, okay, I don't know if I want to jump out there. So trying to work with you to design how to make the best decision. And that's where you come in at Maxine, is that professional development piece for them.
Right.
And then we have nonprofit management and leadership. Nonprofits is in the business of making money. Did I say that? You cannot be a nonprofit unless you make money. Because how do you service your clients, which is the community, if you don't have any money?
Right.
So I want people to understand. So we do a whole certifications around that, including grant research and grant writing. Women lead, teaching women how to lead in this economy. We are the best leaders when it comes to strategic planning, strategies, and doing many things at one time. We can think on our feet quick and solve a problem, because we're always thinking about what's next.
Correct.
And I think beautiful thing how God made us that way, because what God did, he said, I take the real out of Adam,
right,
to make Eve. And there was a reason why. That means we got an extra that Adam don't have.
That's right.
He gave us. Okay. So that means we can do a little bit more than Adam. Okay? Okay. And then we got entrepreneurship in the ministry. We talk about how you can use the Bible, and spiritual stuff to guide you. So the best tools is already been read. How to become a good leader. It's already out there in the Bible.
Right.
How to become an excellent negotiation. It's already out there. How to market. It's already there. How to build a team. You think about Jesus. Jesus built the disciples. That was a team. How to send them out. What are your orders? When people don't receive you, how to go somewhere else. All of that is so very important. And I tell people that the greatest entrepreneur and business owner in the world is God. Look what he created. All we got to do is follow it and duplicate it. And when you look at some of the best businesses out there, they have a strong spiritual presence in their self, and they make sure it's in their company. And they don't have a problem talking about it when they get on top of the stage. And so those are the certifications we offer. And we'll be more than happy to partner with your organization, because we believe, we already partnered already, because we believe that you have something that we don't have. We don't have that personal development part, because that's not our market.
Right.
But it's a part of everything we teach.
And ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do is there's her information should be running across the ticker taker, the banner. So
Uh-huh.
let's go on and run Sharon's website across there so that people know
Mhm.
where to go to find her and how to get in
Mhm.
contact with her. Because if you
Mhm.
need some of these certifications, that would be the perfect place to go. But the other
Mhm.
thing, Sharon, is that you mentioned the fact that, yes, with the two of us, we partner together and do a lot of things together because I have that career development side and the professional development side. And one of the things that we offer, as you mentioned, allude to earlier, was the assessment. And that's the ability assessment. So when someone is
Mhm.
unsure exactly what direction they are to take, whether it's entrepreneurship, and if you're going to become an entrepreneur, what direction should you be taking? If you're going to go to college, what degree should you be majoring in? We help you to understand how to bring in that career development piece so you know the career path that you're going to go down. And then
Mhm.
when it comes to the development piece, the professional development, listen, many people are overlooked for professions on for promotions on their job only because they don't know how to market themselves internally. They don't
Mhm.
know how to do that self-development so that when an opportunity presents itself, you're already well qualified. You just have to be able to market it. So we
Mhm.
help you to be able to do that. So I love the fact that you talked about the partnership and the collaboration. So it's so important because there's enough people out here in this world for everybody.
Oh yes,
Go on and do it.
it is. And if we ever look at medium-sized businesses and large corporations, the model has already been set. All
Yes.
we have to do is execute because they started Maxine right where everybody else started,
You
right
know,
as an entrepreneur, right as a business person, and they just grew it up. They didn't start it, oh, let me do. No, they start right where we are every day. That was it.
some people say, well, I wasn't given a silver spoon. Well, there are some people who might have been born into because someone else had been an entrepreneur. But no matter what, where it was in that, we call it what the legacy, someone had to start it.
Yeah.
And then them starting it, they had to start it from somewhere. Either someone mentored them, they saw an idea, they had to read books, they had to go to conferences, they had to go to a neighbor or someone mentored them. You have to have some help somewhere along the way. So why not us helping each other along the way?
Well, I'm glad you said that. So we're going to help Maxine along the way next Monday. Next Monday, stay tuned. That is Birthday Monday. Maxine, we're going to help her celebrate her, her legacy, all the things that she had poured into her sweet, sweet, sweet 70. When I tell you it's going to be sweet, it's going to be over the top. Okay?
Yay! So it's
And
a
so it's going to be over the top. It's going to
yes,
be over the top.
it is. Yes,
It
it
is.
is.
It is. You know, and I have to say this to people, stop writing people off because of their age. You are missing some of the best knowledge in the
Come
world.
on.
TikTok can't give it to you. Facebook can't give it to you. This is a subject matter expert in HR. All the other stuff in social media and TV can't give it to you. You want to be talking to someone that has done this 30 plus years in HR, has worked herself from the bottom up, and can tell you how to go in there and get your job or get that contract because she done done it. So we're gonna celebrate her birthday. Be here because you're gonna hear some great things, and you're gonna like, oh no, she got all that skill set. Oh no, she ain't just a podcast host. Oh no, you're gonna have people that's gonna be pouring into her with all the things that she have done and the greater things that she's going to do in the next 10 years from her dear life experience, death experience.
I tell you what, Sharon, that near death experience, just, you talked about reevaluating and reassess and refreshing your mind. And it never fails that when you go through a near death experience or a medical crisis or a family situation, it helps you to repurpose what it is that you're doing. It helps you to rethink about where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your efforts? With whom you're spending your time with? Is it being productive? Are you helping them? Are they helping you? So there's a lot of evaluations that went on with me since March up until present, that I'm still reevaluating. And so I love the fact that you say refresh your mind, because that is something that we must do continuously. And even yesterday, even though I'm going to be having his birthday coming up on Monday, the 25th is my actual birthday. So I turned 70. So I know a lot of people say, I can't believe you're happy turning 70.
Oh,
the
yes.
alternative is worse. At least I'm breathing. I'll be able to talk about it. So I'm happy to be able to say that. But I want to say this because it's Breast Cancer Month, and I was a part of a panel just listening yesterday with Terry Spicer, the sister, because she's one of the ones that's always working towards cancer patients. Every person that talked about their battle, there were two things that surfaced. One, know your body better than anyone else, and two, advocate for yourself.
Oh, yes.
With self-development, you still must advocate. That is a part of advocating for yourself. How do you continue to develop yourself? Keep your mind fresh, keep your energy up, being positive and not letting anybody zap your joy every day just because you walk into the office and someone's throwing something negatively at you. But you have control over that. And you're right. It's going to be so good to be able to hear these people talk about give me my flowers while I am alive, because I am living my legacy. I talk about that all the time. It's so important to live your legacy. And Sharon, you are a prime example of someone who's living their legacy also. I never will forget, I met you had been about 13 or 14 years ago. Didn't know you. I'm in your nonprofit contract training, did not even know you, but the impact that you made on me then was the fact that not only were you knowledgeable about your craft, but you were a giving person. You were so giving, and anyone that asked a question, you just didn't give them a short answer. You went into details with them to make sure that they understood how to apply the training that they just attended. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't help but to give you accolades tonight, Ms. Sharon, because of what you do and those certifications that you're doing. Is definitely worth your while to go and look at her website, look at the certifications, and see how can this help you to move forward so that you can be prosperous and you can have a prosperous living. So as we get ready to close, we have about 2 minutes. Are there any closing remarks you'd like to say?
The only thing I want to tell people, follow Maxine on Monday at 7 p.m. and definitely show up next Monday, because we are going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time.
Happy birthday to me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much. Miss Sharon, thank you so much for being here. And I thank you for being a mentor for me and being a part of your mastermind group. And if you haven't, I don't think we have to. Well, listen, make sure that you go to her website and you look at the mastermind group that she is also on Sunday, the first Sunday, I think, of the month that you do. And just look at it and become a part of it. I guarantee you that you would be well satisfied. So thank you again for being here. And I'm going to give the closing remarks and say, yes, please tune in next Monday and be a part of my birthday celebration. And I want to say to you, I believe in you and I trust you believe in yourself. So meet me back here next week, same time, only we're going to be rocking the birthday. So take care. See you soon. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.